You can't lose the idea that there is a spiritual realm.
I gotta be honest with you, Dylan. These seats give me a fupa, like a real bad fupa. Whenever I watch this thing, I'm like, that is a fat up the area for sure. Every time I watch our videos.
You store a lot of your water and food in your upper area. You're a reverse camel.
When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters. Hey guys, welcome. We're into another episode of Conspiracy Social Club. We just discovered that Bryan makes a claim that he was part of the European national soccer team.
I was on the European national soccer team at 17. I had to stop because my skiing karate took over.
Does anyone believe that he stopped being on the European national football team for skiing?
Yeah, they wanted me to be. They wanted to be the new Tomba la Bomba downhill slalom skier. But I loved to freestyle so much that I ended up actually just quitting both of those and just taking my
theater,
my karate a lot more seriously.
Oh, okay.
Which I used to train underground. So one of the reasons that I communicate with my body so well.
There's Daniel's clock.
Who wants to hear a fun fact from me?
I would love to hear a fun fact.
My fun fact is I was on my high school bowling team and increased my average by 20 points in my senior year.
That's not good, huh?
That's not a fun fact.
Yeah, it's a fun fact. Dude, my average went up 20 points. What are you talking about, bro?
Sam, what do you think of the world? What's going on in the world?
It's great.
How do you feel about
working out. Everything's working out.
Yeah.
It's working out perfect.
Yes.
I am very nervous for Ireland. Very nervous.
Why?
Well, they're passing some pretty extensive hate speech laws, and right now Conor McGregor, who is a shady dude with a lot of shady past lately, so I don't know if we should ever look at him as a hero, of course, but he is in the scope of the Irish politicians for discussing what caused the riots in Ireland over the weekend.
What caused the riots in Ireland over the weekend, I think, from my very, very, very tertiary
You mean as you were doom scrolling?
Yes. Is doom scrolling?
Yeah.
That's so true. So true. I don't watch any of that anymore. I'm going to tell you why. But
what do you watch?
It seems that they are fed up with the immigration policies of Europe and Ireland and what it's doing to their economy and their culture.
Yes. Yes.
And that's fair.
Right.
I think you're allowed to be proud of your culture and try to hold on to your culture since it's worked for you for so long. So well,
it's like when you come here, you should be part of us.
Yeah,
we should assimilate to you because you're leaving that for a reason.
That's right. Unless you have been taught and you believe that everything about this culture and about this history is bad.
Well,
and everything about their culture is good because they were victims or whatever.
Yeah, I get that too.
So there's this idea that we are colonialists and that's why
we are.
Yeah.
But fun fact, everybody was colonial.
Everyone was.
I mean, like this notion that there was no kumbayas.
No.
Nobody was kumbaya.
No, human beings are violent.
The natives had black slaves. I mean, like these are facts.
Yes. So technology allowed one group to be better at it than other groups, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, if you study like this, the War of Independence, right, where we push back against the British, they came in there and it was like the war before where everyone just walked forward and kept shooting, right? And they're like, well, we can't compete with that, so we did it like Native American style, where we like guerrilla forces, where we were like hanging in the trees and start pegging people off. That's
right.
the story we're told. Who knows if that's real?
Well, that's
but
what I do.
You have to
I cover myself in mud and I lay low and I become one.
100%, Brian. I was just telling somebody the other day. I go, dude. Sometimes they'll show up with mud on and trees. And
I blend in with foliage better than anybody
really
you've ever
do,
fucking
dude. You
met.
really do.
I also move with the forest, and there's a way to move.
Yeah,
I'm not clunky.
Is
and I'm
it
going to be
your
honest
Native American name, Moving Tree?
It is Moving Tree, and I'll tell you something else. You know, when I walk through whether it's the jungles of Tanjamputing or whether it is the Amazonian rainforest, whether it is even in the African rainforest, you will not hear a twig break under my feet. You will not hear a twig break under my feet. And you guys,
dude,
when you're walking,
Brian, you're like the Korean air steppers. Have you seen those guys on Instagram where they step on air and they keep moving? That's you through the forest.
That's literally me through the forest. I'm glad you mentioned that. And you know, here's the difference between you guys and me when we walk through the rainforest.
You guys? Are you talking about America?
Well,
or the people in the room?
If the three of us are on our way to do some live podcast somewhere and the plane goes down over the rainforest, and it doesn't matter what rainforest, you guys do me a favor, and you know this. Sam, can you make a hook with your finger? Make a hook with your finger. Okay, you put that in my belt loop.
Okay, and I just follow
me. And hey, you wood gypsy, go like that with your finger. Let me see your finger. Put that in his belt loop, and you guys follow me. All right. Now here's the difference. You stare at the back of my head, Sam. You stare at the back of Sam's head. Don't ask where we're going or anything else. You fucking two blind mice. You two blind mice. Two blind mice, two blind micey, two blind micey, da 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 da. But shut the f up, shut the f up, fucking humans, and follow me. Even though clong, crank, crash. That's your feet. My feet are this. Sit. Which is to be expected. But comedy, clack, breathing heavy. That's you guys. Now, you guys are looking where? At each other's heads. Where is your leader looking when we're in the rainforest? That's a question. It's a quiz.
Hey, where are you looking?
Am I looking straight forward? Or am I looking down? No, I'm not. I'm looking up. Why am I looking up, guys? Because all the life happens 100 feet up in the rainforest, up in what I call the canopy. Canopy.
I don't want to do this.
Okay,
anymore.
nope. Hold on. That's where we're going to get our food, goes. And your tummies are already grumbling, so shut the up so I can figure out a way to make a reed. Find some poison frogs.
Are you doing a lot of this? Are you throwing grass into the air?
I'm also tasting the ground. I'm also finding you grubs to feed to you guys like bonbons because you need fucking protein for your dumb tummies. Okay? For your empty, stupid fucking tummies. Dead fucking weight, ball and chains. I'm going to find myself a fucking, I'm going to fashion myself a fucking poison dart. And I'm going to get myself a long reed. And I'm going to shoot us a fucking monkey.
Aww.
Yep. Or a bird.
Why can't the monkey be our friend and help
snake.
us?
Sam, stop asking questions.
So I want to be like, when I have fear of the jungle.
I know.
So my whole thing would be like, I would just tape all these machetes to me, but blade out.
Yeah.
So if the anaconda came down out of nowhere and tried to wrap me, he would cut himself.
So anacondas live in the water, not in the trees. So that's the first thing you got to know. Okay. So first of all, don't worry about anacondas.
I've watched enough National Geographic to know there's anacondas in the tree.
Worry about the beso de muerte. Beso de muerte. That would be the kiss of death. That's the eyelash viper.
What?
Now, the eyelash viper, that'll hit you right in the face because they hang out about face level on trees.
Eyelash viper?
Yes. Look it up. Look it the up.
Is that a cryptid?
Yes. Look out for the boom slang or the bushmaster. It depends on where we are, guys. These snakes will you up. Now, if we are in the Brazilian rainforest, the biggest thing you got to worry about that right there. That'll bite you in the face, and you're really in trouble.
In the face?
Yeah, and you're big trouble. You're in big trouble. Now,
Is that a drawing or is that a real
that's
thing?
real. That's real. Now,
Oh, my-
Now, here's
I'm
what you
out.
really
I'm
have to
out.
worry about. Here's what you got to really worry about. And you will see 5 an hour. You'll see 5 an hour. I want you, if we're in the Amazonian rainforest, to watch out for the wandering spider.
The one, oh
Yeah,
man,
if that
these
bites
things.
we got to say bye-bye. I don't mind because I got one fucking less anchor on my belt loop.
Oh, so if I get bit by a spider, you'd be like, dude, it was a good time.
Yeah, I have to.
Would you just cut?
I'll probably cut you. I'll probably cut your throat. I'll probably bleed you out.
You'd be like, it's better this way.
Yeah. You don't want to fuck around. They're not
That's
afraid of
fucked.
humans. Wandering spiders are not afraid of humans. They stand their ground, and you don't want to get bit by them, and they're all over the place. Okay. There it is, right there. See that fucking thing? You don't
Oh,
wanna
my-
get bit. It's a disaster.
Oh my!
Yeah,
What is
show
that?
the
What
fangs.
is it doing?
Show the fangs. It sucks. They will bite you. They're in Australia, and they are in.
Get outta
closer
here.
on fangs. Get closer on fangs. They look like.
Oh
snakes.
my God, that looks like a
That's not a
fleshlight.
good picture. His fangs aren't out. His fangs aren't out. It's a bitch.
Okay,
High neurotoxin.
I gotta move on. You're giving me nightmares.
Sorry.
Okay,
So
where are you gonna
I'll
be,
catch
Bryan?
you food. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be in Indiana.
I think you would probably cut bait pretty quickly because we were weighing you down, and then I think Sam and I, motivated by vengeance and
Yeah.
hurt, would probably hunt you.
Yeah,
Okay,
And
for
your
sure,
meat
bro.
Would sustain us.
See, Bryan,
until
your
we were
problem
rested.
is like you don't understand. I'm an ex-junkie,
Yeah.
so I'm used to staying up for long periods.
Yep.
So we would just wait as you fell asleep because you're old.
This is adorable.
and you need your nap.
It's adorable. So what you guys forgot? What you guys forgot about is the one thing in the rainforest that is unbearable is the bugs, right? Mosquitoes, everything else. Do you have a sulfur coil? Do you?
Yeah, I
Did
do.
you pack one? Of course not.
I can't, it's in my car.
So you're gonna strip down, right down. I'm gonna look at your dicky and everything else.
No.
And I'm gonna rub you down with a certain kind of sap. I gotta rub you down head to toe with a certain kind of sap. Take my big old strong hands and I'm gonna start at your feet and I'm gonna work all the way up to you.
And you're giving everybody happy endings.
Yep. Right up to you. I'm gonna get right under your scrotum, right in the crack of your ass here. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put the sap here, and I'm gonna saw your asshole right here.
Oh, because you don't want anyone crawling up your beehole.
Yep, I'm gonna right there. And I'm gonna really take the old shafty, and it's a tiny shaft, and I'm gonna do this like a little doorknob just to make sure everything's fine. And then we'll get up to the pubis. I'll rub the pubis down, can't have lice and all kinds of other things. I'm gonna get all the way up into your whole fucking situation. I might take a very sharp rock and shave you both because you're hairy as a fucking ape, and I don't need all the kinds of little chiggers and
Whoa!
and-
Did someone just say some racial slurs right there?
No, chiggers.
Bryan,
and,
beat
chiggers
that.
And,
You gotta beat
there
that.
it is. Look at this.
Whoa! Get out of here! I don't need to see that. I don't need to see
It's
that.
awful, dude. It's awful.
Dude, the jungle is like the worst hood
It's
ever.
horrifying.
I remember I did a joke about this on my two specials before, but somebody was like, I took a picture of me. I was at some animal like outdoor zoo, and I'm like, oh, look, I'm at the zoo. They're like, zoos treat animals like shit. I go, yeah, that's true. But you know who treats animals worse than zoos? Mother Nature. Like, what is the homicide rate in the jungle?
It's literally an orgy of mating and death.
Yeah.
It's killing and fucking.
That's-
it's horrifying. But the bugs. Well, I went and tracked orangutans in the rainforest.
You went
in
what?
Indonesia. I was in Indonesia for 2 weeks.
And you trap them?
Tracked.
Oh.
So you'd wake up and you'd go trek into the forest before the sun came up. And when the jungle wakes up with all the insects and stuff, it is louder than any Grand Central Station. It's louder.
101.
It literally is louder than you've ever seen. You cannot believe how loud the rainforest is. And with monkeys, birds, but mainly insects.
You hear this?
And you better carry a sulfur coil because bug spray doesn't work. Because the mosquitoes they're so thick sometimes that they form clouds. They will attack you by the thousands. You can't live. You can't. You need a net on your face.
Oh, get out of here. I don't want to see this. Why are we doing this?
It's we can not do it if you want, but it's just Werner Herzog talking about the jungle.
Oh yeah, let me hear it.
He always says it's full of erotic elements. I don't see it so much erotic. I see it more full of obscenity. It's just, and nature here is vile and base. I wouldn't see anything erotical here. I would see fornication and asphyxiation and choking and fighting for survival and growing and just rotting away
He's a nightmare.
Of course, there's a lot of
Look at that
misery,
beautiful macaw they
but
killed.
it is the same misery that is
Oh, my
all
God.
around us.
That's such a beautiful macaw.
Trees here are in misery, and the birds are in misery. I don't think they sing, they just screech in pain.
He is the worst. That guy, Werner Herzog, is the fucking worst.
They just screech in
Oh
pain.
my God, he's got a sick sense of humor because he's just saying stuff, and he's just German.
He's right, though.
Yeah.
It is a violent neighborhood.
And Klaus Kinski, who was his sort of favorite, he used him as an actor and all these things. Natasha Kinski, remember her?
No.
Look up Natasha Kinski. His daughter.
Yeah.
When she was 13, he was pimping her off to his friends. Scumbag.
I'll fight everybody.
Yeah, but she was so beautiful. I actually met her.
Imagine.
And I might be wrong about that, but the rumor was he was just a true narcissist. When a narcissist like that has a child, look at how beautiful his daughter was. Yeah, Natasha Kinski. Keep going. Let me see the pictures. It'll blow you away. She was gorgeous, but also had something. You know, this was a woman who had been educated and been around the people, the who's who of the world. She kind of grew up like European royalty.
It's very interesting. If you are a gorgeous woman, you
the world opens.
The world opens,
Yeah.
and it's like you can just jump financial brackets. Like Anna Nicole Smith is the greatest example of like the easiest way to move up financially
Yes.
is to be a hot chick.
Well, also if
An athletic guy, you can move up if you become, but it's so hard to get to the NBA. It literally is the 1% of
by
people.
the time you're 19, if you have a crazy biology like a woman like that, like Raquel Welch or something, if you can also be intelligent, if you can also be classy and like not give it away, be really, really stingy with your body and your biology,
dude.
you can write your own ticket. You'll
These
be a billionaire.
chicks on Instagram are just giving it away.
Oh, of course.
Dude, the new thing is to wear like a nightie and no underwear. And you're just like, what are we doing? I mean, like, what are we doing? It's like you're just throwing your bits away. Anyways, Wood Gypsy, what do you want to talk about?
We got a lot to talk about. Do you guys want to hit dates first?
We did.
Great.
Oh,
I didn't.
I'll be in Indiana at Helium Comedy Club. What is it? December 7, 8, and 9. And then I'll be at Spokane Comedy Club December 15, 16. And then I will be at Off the Hook Comedy Club December 21, 22, 23. And then Comedy Zone for New Year's
Congratulations, Bryan.
in Charlotte.
Where we go? Yeah, go down. There we go. El Monte on the 16th right now. So we'll see. I think I'm going to have a nice, simple. And, dude, Chaos Twins is on fire. We're over $23,000. Let's get to 30 grand. We can have an animation.
Nice.
I'm so excited, dude. The possibilities with this thing is so huge.
Great.
I just got to add a male character to it. I got to have a boy in there. So that's it. So that's our story.
All right. Do we want to go off the deep end pretty quickly here?
Yeah.
No, I do not want to talk about the subject we've been talking about.
Alrighty.
Yeah, here we go,
Sam,
bro.
Take it away, Sam.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, basically, so I want you two guys to know, and I want you to pin this conversation, get out your phone, write down this date. Sammy said this. 2024 is going to be all of the PSYOPs all at one time. It is already ramping up. They're starting to see it.
Why?
I'm watching because it's going to be chaos, bro.
What do they gain from a PSYOP?
Well, there's also the Deagle report, which says in 2025, America's population will be 50 million people. So that's out there, which is the Deagle report is a data website for the intelligence agencies, just so you know, Bryan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the intelligence agencies.
Agencies,
seem to
your best friends.
Seem to know that we're going to have 50 million
Yeah,
people.
that's the whole thing.
That would be in 2 years.
Yeah.
And you think the intelligence agencies have this report, and that's That's what
they had to take it down because so many people were talking about.
Oh, they had to take it down.
Yeah.
But somehow they posted it.
So as the
Interesting.
2024
So
election
they are in
comes,
control. Would you say the intelligence agencies are in control?
well, the intelligence agencies are the
Who are they?
The law enforcement of the banking system.
Of
yes,
the banking
yes,
system.
which goes
You
all
mean
the way
our
up to the black
financial- you mean our
nobility.
financial system.
Yeah,
Right. How would you avoid not having a financial system?
What?
Well, I mean, how would you avoid a banking? Don't you need a banking system?
I mean, I think everybody could have their own. I think everybody should have a sovereign nation and control their own money and not be loaned money from a central reserve at an interest rate that is designed not to be able to get paid back.
Well, our interest rates for the past 30 years were almost zero.
Yeah, but we're
And we
so
were
in
criticized
debt.
for that.
We're so in debt
Yes,
right now, and
yes.
it's done on purpose.
No, because we kept interest rates at zero. So
Yeah.
you would say we should raise interest rates, which are
I'm
at
saying
5
we
now.
should not have a centralized bank.
Well,
I think we should only have print money for the amount of gold that we have.
so I know you know a lot about banking and
I don't,
how to
Brian.
run a financial
Brian,
system.
it's crazy though.
why do you have a
Brian?
point of
It's
view on it?
crazy that I don't know anything, and I'll admit to that.
Yeah.
And you still lose all the
But
time.
why do you have
all
a point
the
of view
time
when you don't
How do you
know?
lose to such a retarded human being?
But why do you don't know anything about the central nervous system of our financial
Yeah, I
system?
do, Brian.
And
It's
yet
called
you have strong
fractional
opinions.
reserve banking.
What does that mean?
Okay, which means for the longest time that you could loan out X dollars based on how many dollars you had in the bank. But guess what they did, Brian? They got rid of that. Now you can loan out as much money as you want, regardless of how much
Well,
money.
not anymore, but yes, we were being very, very creative with our derivatives.
Yes,
and different,
because it's
financial
Babylonian
instruments.
money magic, Brian.
Well, that's
It's a great way to bribe out everybody with monopoly money. You can bribe everybody.
Yeah, but derivatives-
I just made up money.
But derivatives
Hey
were-
guys, hey, you hand me $10, so I take that $10 and I bribe him $100 every show to ding you.
What
now
about-
I'm running this place,
is that-
and it's just made up money. I just made up money.
Is that how you're describing the financial system?
Oh, you describe it to me.
Okay, so like for example, sometimes you have a company,
Okay.
right? And you think it's going to be worth such and such in 5 years. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be worth less than that in 5 years. Okay, there's a discrepancy on what we think that company will be
Okay.
worth. What happens when that happens is that human beings go, "I'm going to buy a bunch of that," and other people say, "I'm going to sell a bunch. If I'll take an option on that." So some people say, "I don't think it's going to be worth as much. I'll sell it to you at this price. If it goes up, I got to pay you. If it goes down, you got to pay me. But I'll sell it to you at a certain price."
Yeah.
So
Puts and calls, right?
Yeah, so it becomes this like
That's
well,
stock
one
market.
example of
That's
stock
stock
market.
market
sort of things, and all that is people saying, "I think this is valued."
Yeah, but I'm talking about our banking system, not Wall
but that is
Street.
part of the banking system. So in other words, what I'm saying is that people make a lot of money off of that particular
Right.
discrepancy.
Right.
And you're never going to stop human beings from being very creative with the financial systems because a lot of times, for example, the ability to sell debt is how you and I get loans. It's how you and I are able to own a house. It's how you and I are able to own a car. So a lot of this stuff actually
Brian,
works. There's a dark side.
the
but a lot of it
reason you
works.
and I can get a loan is because fractional reserve banking told the banks you can lend out at one point $10 for every $1 you have in the bank. The problem comes, they just discussed this on Joe Rogan with Dave Smith, is the problem comes is when, and this is why all things crash, is when people come to pull their money out. Like I want to switch my money out of my Chase Bank to a credit union.
Yeah. So this is all very true. Like
Thank you. Can I ring the bell?
But that's why. No, but that's why. After the 2007 crash, there were all these regulations that were put into place. Now, some of them go too far. Some of them don't work as well.
And what else happens, Brian, is that the very powerful, what they'll do, they do this, like a great example is they did this with Bitcoin. So everybody in the crypto universe got really excited when these giant investment firms started buying Bitcoin. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's a sign. It's gonna be real. They're validating our stuff." And what they didn't realize is that all these banks bought all this stuff, and then they did a giant sell-off, and it crashed.
What if
Bang.
Yeah.
And guess what these institutions did? Came in and bought a whole bunch more.
Oh,
do you know what it is? A lot of times, human optimism and
Hold on.
blind optimism.
Thought? Wood Gypsy.
I just don't know why we're talking about the intricacies of banking because neither of you know anything about the intricacies of
You're right.
banking, and we were supposed to be talking about chemtrails.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
wait, what? Chemtrails now?
So, because Bryan went off asking me
Sorry.
why I believe what I believe.
Hail
what
is
I
spotted
do
around the
believe,
moon
what
across
I
England.
do believe is that all of the psyops will be coming back. We're going to get back into defund the police. We're going to get into these immigration riots. We're going to see, and we've already seen a giant return to Me Too. That's going to happen as well. Every one of these psyops. And guess what, guys? Guess what? China just found the first swine flu in a human being. Welcome back to that as well. So there we go.
How do you?
It's all
how
coming
often are your
back
predictions?
it's going to be a blow bang of psyops, everybody.
How often are your,
psyops? Oh, give me that fucking swine flu. Give me that fucking defund the police. That's what's
How
going to be.
often are your
Predictions right all the
yeah.
time.
So swine flu and all these things, you think that's a psyop, but you don't think that pigs get because of the way they're treated and housed and how people don't
Bryan,
know much
regardless,
about it.
you know my position on viruses, okay? But let's even throw that aside.
No virus.
The whole point.
So what
the whole
kills people?
point, Bryan.
What kills
the
people?
whole point of what I'm talking about here, Bryan, is that they're gonna bring back. Let's have masks. Let's have lockdowns again. You have the CDC already begging China to do it, which will kick off what's going over here. And Power Bottom Newsom will follow in line. Maybe we need to lock it down, and we need to. They're going to try to do that. You have to understand that 2024 is going to be chaos.
Really? 2024.
Chaos.
Oh, because of the election.
Yeah, there you go, buddy, buddy. I mean, and all the stuff. So what is this about? What is this about? Okay. They are littering the sky with chemicals, which will get us more sick, and setting up so we can get back to those good old global warming fires, everybody. When I was a kid, we didn't have climate change fires. We had crackheads setting arson, okay? But now we got climate change weather.
So you think they're seeding the air?
100%,
So
Bryan.
all of us, including them, obviously,
Yeah.
get sick, or are they wearing gas masks?
Nope, they are. They
Who
get
is
it too.
they?
They
Who's
get it too.
they?
Who do you think? I love this. Is my favorite part,
Yeah.
Bryan. Who do you
So what
think
kind of
they
chemicals? So
are?
they're actually putting. They're going. Hey guys, today let's load up our planes and
Yep.
release these cancer-causing
Yep.
chemicals
Yes.
into the air. Really? That's
Ring
what you
the bell.
do. You really
Ring the
believe
bell.
that?
Yeah, 100%.
You really believe there's a
Bryan.
government agency that does that?
100%.
Is that true?
Yes.
You think that they do that?
No, I know that.
And where is your proof?
Hey, will you look up Brennan, the old CIA director, talking?
You think the CIA does that?
Yeah, they're one of them. Talking at the Bryan's babysitting service called the CFR, where he's giving a story about geo engineering.
Yeah,
The
but
weather?
that doesn't mean that.
That he's
Chemicals.
literally talking about.
He's not
Bryan.
saying that they're dropping cancer-causing chemicals in the air.
No, he doesn't come out and say that, Bryan. But that's exactly what's happening. And there's people that you don't know about.
So the
Bryan.
pharmaceutical companies are actually the ones running it. Then they must be the ones who are. Are they?
Well, Bryan, the
So they
people
can
who
call
own
them cancer
the people who own the pharmaceutical companies also own the military-industrial complex.
Oh.
They also own the healthcare
so it's
industry.
the pharmaceutical industry
It's
that are
all
actually
them.
running everything.
It's the people who run that. It's that level up.
The people that run that.
Yeah.
So let me just get this straight. It's
There
very
you go.
confusing.
No, it's not.
Your world.
I've been talking about this for 3 years with you.
Yeah, I know. The pharmaceutical companies want they actually want you to have cancer so that they actually seed the air
Yes,
with cancer.
yes,
So
yes.
they can make more money.
Yes.
You really believe that?
100%,
So do
Bryan.
they have an inside guy at the Air Force that does this?
Yeah.
They do. They
Well,
have an
Bryan, what
inside
happens
guy. And
is
how do they
what
get these
happens,
chemicals?
Bryan,
Yeah.
is there's this kind of like this really gross kind of thing where like the politicians go to the boards go to these what's the word? Departments of the government. They just go back and forth, and it's all very incestuous.
So when Joe Rogan did his deep dive into chemtrails and found nothing,
Okay.
what would you say? So you think?
Oh, here we go. Can we hear this?
Sure.
I would like Bryan to hear this.
Isn't that
John,
McMaster? Is that
who is
McMaster?
a treasonous scumbag.
Okay.
He's a treason.
Another example is the array of technologies often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change.
Okay.
One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion.
Okay, hold on for a second. Are you saying that that guy, you think that guy is actually...
He's a treasonous scumbag.
So you're saying he's actually... He's evil and he's...
Oh, not just because of this.
So it sounds like...
We'll get into his role in 9/11.
You mean human beings when it comes to technology?
I need you to hear the rest of this, and then you could say whatever completely off and wrong position you have. Go on.
Promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government.
Stop. This is where it starts to get interesting. Here we go.
And for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. On the geopolitical side,
there we go.
The technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions could trigger sharp opposition by some nations.
There we go.
Okay.
Others might seize on SAI's benefits and back away from their commitment to carbon dioxide reductions. And as with other breakthrough technologies, global norms and standards are lacking to guide the deployment and implementation of SAI and other geoengineering initiatives.
Thank you. That was great.
You are so blinded,
Brian,
by conspiracy that you can't even see what he's saying, which is you got a government bureaucrat, which is what he is.
No, he's not.
Billionaire.
He's a government treasonous scumbag.
He's a government bureaucrat who's saying,
treasonous
hey guys,
scumbag.
We got this technology. We're kind of in its budding technology to try to figure out the way to reflect the power of the sun and cool the planet in certain areas.
This is so dumb,
and then it's great. It's great. And then we're going to figure this out. But some countries are going to benefit, others aren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge.
Which is what's going on with China right now.
It's a real challenge. And all he's saying is that we have these technologies that are actually going to raise some real challenges and could lead to problems. And so it's like I love when what's that Department of Agriculture? They're trying to figure out a way to get sheep to graze at higher altitudes because they can't get them to graze because of global warming. All their grass is growing at higher altitudes. So you can say whatever you want, but if you want more wool and you want like lamb, you got to figure out a way. The scientists are like not political. They're like, I got to figure out a way to get these sheep to graze at higher altitudes. How do we do that? That's the crop problems they're dealing with. And then people are
Brian, are those same people trying to figure out how cow farts can be reduced?
Yes.
So stop.
Unbelievable. That's a real thing.
Oh, get out.
When you breed that many cows.
Do we want to get into? Do we want to get?
Has a methane problem.
Brian, just know what you are talking about is so fucking dangerous. Okay, you are literally talking about trying to get rid of fucking farmland and cattle, which is a giant depopulation movement. You are so lost,
Sam.
You don't know your fucking mouth from your asshole.
I wish you would read.
No, you don't know what you're doing. You're such a WEF puppet. You are such a WEF puppet.
You've never been.
You are unbelievable.
You've never really.
You're so dangerous right now. Okay, so I would like to go.
Well, I would just like to remind you two.
Hold on. Do you think that raising rainforests in the Amazon for cattle grazing is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a bad idea.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, I just thought you said that. So do you think that agriculture causes a lot of pollution or no pollution?
I don't.
You don't think agriculture does?
No.
So you don't think all the pesticides and all the
that's something different. Yeah.
Well, no,
but if you're asking me if there's too many cows farting, I don't believe that at all.
Well, so in New Zealand, the problem was that pollution was a real thing because of methane.
Who told you that? The New Zealand government that did draconian 1984 lockdowns on their people?
The scientists and the people there were going, "Hey, the air quality sucks." So what happened was when you breed that many sheep, Sam, when you breed that many sheep that are unnatural to the land, when you breed that many sheep that are unnatural to the land.
Brian, watch me run off the
When you breed that many sheep that are unnatural to the land,
Okay.
they're not indigenous to that,
Okay.
that part of the world,
All right.
and you breed that many,
Okay.
you're going to have environmental effects. So one of the things about pigs is that when you breed that many pigs and they give off that much slop, that much shit, you have to figure out what to do with that because it's
I
chemicals.
understand that.
So the largest contributor to pollution in our waterways and in fact in a lot of other places is actual agricultural runoff. That's not a political statement. That's a scientific fact. Anyone will tell you that, including farmers. So agricultural runoff is a big problem. It's why you can't drink stream water in certain parts because giardia, because the cows shit in the water, because you got a feedlot up there. So there's a lot of examples of that. Have you ever driven by a feedlot and smelled it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Modesto.
Yeah.
Welcome to Worst Take Ever. I'm Bryan Callen. Welcome to Worst Take Ever.
you're saying-
I think cow farts are a major fucking evil.
Well, they are a problem. Sheep farts are a problem in New Zealand. It
Okay.
does cause,
All right.
you should talk to the people
Put
in New
that on a
Zealand.
shirt.
Talk to the Maori in New Zealand. See how they feel.
Brian is anti-sheep fart.
Okay, let's just remember to not speak over one another, and I know that's an impossibility, but let's try to keep it on the forefront, okay?
Okay.
Let's get to the next thing wherein Sam thinks that Timothy McVeigh is alive and an FBI agent.
No. I just think it's interesting.
Oh God, God, you fall for the crazy. You
No.
even fall for memes.
Brian, can we have fun talk here? Can we just talk about things? Has everything got to be 100%
just-
serious?
I'm just saying that
Read that out loud, Brian.
one is an FBI agent that goes by the name of Paul Vispal, and the other is Timothy McVeigh, who allegedly blew up Oklahoma City. Did y'all see what I see?
There we go, bro. Super
Interesting.
shady. Super funny.
Let me see that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing with Timothy McVeigh.
Hold on, you can usually tell.
It looks a lot like. Brian's getting very quiet right there. There's a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
I'm going to say this. That picture and that meme has caused me to question everything I've ever said in my life.
I love that, Brian. That was a great moment. There's so much.
Sam,
with
say
Timothy
you believe in
McVeigh.
viruses, though, right?
No. So,
Okay, so
but the Timothy McVeigh stuff is. Here we go.
well, if you don't want to move on, we don't.
No,
have to
I
move
do,
on.
but I just want to say, like, the death of Timothy McVeigh is shrouded in secrecy, just so everyone knows.
Really?
Yeah, nobody got to see the execution. Nobody knows the car that he left in. All this stuff.
Sam,
Just so
are
you know.
you under the impression that the FBI?
No, I'm just saying, Brian.
the one that
some
blew up
things can be
the
murky.
Oklahoma-
Okay. Can it be murky?
Sam, are you saying that the FBI blew up?
Oh, I mean that's for sure.
Really?
Well, PatCon for sure, 100%.
So it wasn't Timothy McVeigh.
Well, Timothy McVeigh could be a patsy or controlled opposition for sure.
I see.
But there was two guys seen there. They never went after the second guy. Okay,
Yeah.
and you're just like, Brian, you're so cute.
He did go after the second guy.
No,
Wasn't
they
it
did.
Terry Nichols. they
No,
found?
there was a different guy there. Witnesses said there was a second guy
Witnesses.
there. There was other bombs, all this stuff. Yeah, Brian, you should do a deep dive in OKC bombing.
No.
And what was in there?
The FBI did. And
No, they didn't,
I don't
Brian.
need to.
You are
The
so
FBI
cute.
did. Yeah,
You
the
are
FBI
so
did.
cute.
And they found it. Yeah.
No, they didn't, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's like, so, Brian, there's literally a TV show called The First 48. You know that, right?
Yeah. Sam,
So in the
FBI
first
and the
48
CIA
hours,
don't kill
if they
Americans.
don't find the killer, they're
Wait,
probably...
hang on.
The
a
FBI
second.
and the CIA, Sam, it's going to shock you, don't commit terrorist acts against Americans on American soil.
Oh my God!
They don't commit terrorist
You
acts.
are- you
so
are
the FBI
so
and the
cute.
CIA had nothing to do with 9/11.
You are so
They had
cute.
nothing to do with the Oklahoma
Okay.
City bombing. And the idea that you think they did
Will
is
you
so
look this
adorable.
up? Did John Brennan...
God, John Brennan.
Did he get them the 19 hijackers their work visas? Will you look this up?
You say the
we've-
craziest shit.
You're having a senior moment.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not. He
No,
is because he won't remember that,
We've talked about this before.
and it happened. It 100% happened.
Sam.
These are conspiracy facts,
Sam,
Jack.
he didn't do that.
Yes, he did, Brian. He was actually is believed to be Muslim because you saw him in Mecca, and
John Brennan?
yeah,
He's Muslim.
yeah.
I see. So he's a Muslim plant.
Well,
Dude, your conspiracies wouldn't even make a good Hollywood. They wouldn't even make a good TV show because it's too convoluted.
You're crazy.
You need to come up with better bad guys because you never see what you do is here's been the biggest problem with your stories and their stories is that you never actually think about how somebody could pull this off. You always go right to the reveal. You never go into the actual impossible nature of how you'd pull off an operation like that. It would be so impossible. But you always just go straight to and another thing about there.
Bryan,
They're
it's
wizards.
not impossible.
At the end of the day, when you get down to it, Sam, and I ask you how these people actually really control things, your answer is magic and the sacrifice of children and that
To Moloch.
Yes. And
Yes.
That's actually what you think.
Yes.
Yeah, you think that
So everything's
You
a
believe in
manifestation event.
yeah, you believe in magic.
Yeah, 100%. Mysticism, 100%.
But Sam, okay, perfect. Let me just ask you this. To what degree do you think a lot of the folly in the world and a lot of the problems in the world are just the sort of brokenness of human nature, arrogance of human nature, people thinking they're doing a good thing but being short-sighted, people having the hubris to think they can restructure the Middle East and falling short? To what degree is it human error, human folly, human arrogance, human brokenness, and good guys versus bad guys versus this incredible, this multi-layered plot by a small group of people?
Bingo.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
That's what you think. So
Yep.
is it all that?
Most of it. Most of the stuff that you'll see on a global scale, on the news, everything on the news is a intelligence operation. Everything.
So you say you don't believe in viruses. So all the scientists that do study viruses, are they all either lying or are they mistaken?
Well, it's not that they're lying, Bryan. It's because they've been trained to see what they're saying.
And so they've been trained to see it, and they dedicate their whole life to this.
Yep.
And there's a whole field study. But you,
Yes.
Sam Tripoli,
Yes.
who saw some YouTube videos,
Yeah.
is saying all of them
Yeah.
are wrong. The guy who never took biology.
Well, not me, just an
But
actual
the guy who never
doctor
took any
wrong.
biology,
Yep.
anything. No, doctors don't.
Yeah, doctors do all
No,
the time.
Sam.
Doctors do
Why
all
are you
the time.
believing
all the time.
a couple of non-doctors?
Yeah, they are real doctors.
But why do you believe
I
a
want to
couple
bring
of
them on, but
non-doctors?
you'd be too rude to them, so I can't
Well,
bring them on.
because
you're a rude
because
man.
they're
You're a rude
idiots,
boy.
because they're not
Bryan Callen is a rude boy.
idiots.
You rude boy.
But Sam, stop believing the things that keep you on the outside looking in.
Okay.
It's not true. It might be an emotional thing.
No, it's not.
Yes.
This is a cool picture of one of the passports that John Brennan stamped that was discovered at the
Oh yeah. Thank you.
site.
And I'm on to you and how you operate because I know there might be a second flip to this shit. Okay.
Hold on, let me
By
see
the
it.
way, go look at his name. By the way, go look at his name. Satan. Okay, gotcha.
Saddam.
Yeah, Satan. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Saddam.
Yeah, that big explosion that survived, Bryan. But people like you love that stuff. They're like, oh my God, we're so lucky we found that papa. We're so lucky.
I think we can all agree that capitalism selects for sociopaths.
Yes.
Right? And now
Yes.
we can move on.
Yeah.
I disagree.
There are some good
you're
things in
wrong.
capitalism, and there's a lot of bad things.
Okay, so speaking of Bryan being a WEF puppet,
Yeah.
do you want to set this up?
Yeah, okay, so this is a great video, Bryan. This video is here, stop it. This chick, so Bryan, this is so perfect. Thank you for this.
You're welcome, yeah,
Dylan,
yeah.
you did a great job today.
Thank you.
So getting into is everything a psyop and all that stuff. So this is a woman who's discussing her work with what she calls WEF, right? WEF, okay, which is a WEF. And she's so stupid. And she's talking about their hard work in growing the gay community and how they could do some fuzzy math to get the numbers even higher.
Can I ask a question?
No, watch this, then you ask a
beforehand.
question.
Yeah,
Beforehand.
Pre-question.
Beforehand. Sam, have you ever been to the WEF?
Bryan, that's
I'm just asking a question. Hold on.
question.
The answer's
So
no, right?
dumb.
The answer's no.
It's so
Sam, is
dumb.
it possible? It's that if you do you know how these things work? It's really
Tell me,
hilarious.
Bryan.
So It's a way for the cool kids to get together.
Oh, the cool kids.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you ask.
Have you been to the WEF?
No, but I know people who have. I know people who have. And the World Economic Forum is something that people go to. First of all, they get to make speeches and they get to be cool.
Okay.
And that's
Brian
so
hasn't
fun.
even
It's
heard
also-
the video,
It's also a
and
way
you're
for them to
already
have
framing it.
expensive dinners.
You should
and
listen
hang
to
out
her,
with the
Brian.
elite of the world.
Listen, because you're sounding really dumb. Just listen to this, and then we'll see if you do your, my captain speech for the WEF, okay?
Yes.
So here we go.
WEF's power of media.
Can we start it over? I want them to get every word of this.
Today, I'm really proud to sit on WEF's Power of Media Task Force, and GLAAD is a very proud partner of the Partnership for Global LGBTQI Equality, which is also known as PGLE. And PGLE was launched right here in 2019 and is a project of WEF and the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Work with the news, business, entertainment, faith leaders, sports, governments, and individual activists from around the globe to ensure and educate public people on LGBTQ issues and move policy forward. In the U.S., the Gallup poll this year showed that over 20% of Gen Z are LGBT.
Oh my
We've been running
God.
studies ourselves that include the Q, and so it's LGBTQ, and we expand the age from 18 to 34, and you can see nearly 40% of Gen Zers identify as LGBT.
This is nuts. It's nuts. What a bunch of horseshit. Talk about social contagion. Talk about fucking social contagion.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying, dude?
Yes.
Like that is like a look behind the curtain and you see an invisible hand.
You just see lies. You see fucking
You
lies.
see programming going on.
40%.
She is literally bragging that they have gotten the number of children who identify as gay up to 40% if you put
queer,
Yeah. And there's a video
questioning.
out there where this professor
Questioning's the
breaks down.
best.
Again, when we get into these things, there's the group, let's say gays, okay? And then there's the weaponized version, which is queer. And if you get into the history of queer, there's a lot of people who push for pedophilia. It's a fact.
Yeah, that's true. And pedophilia now is like, well, look, first of all, it's minor attracted people because when you call them a pedophile, it has a stigma to it.
Yeah,
and pedophiles,
which it should, by the way.
Yeah, of course it should. And then they also say pedophiles are that way. They're born that way, so they can't help it. So now you're going to have pedophilia. You're going to have pedophilia rights. And this is...
There's never going to be pedophilia rights. Nobody's going to accept it.
The Bible talks about sacrificing human... with the god of Moloch, when you study in the Bible, when they talks about Malachian, so King Solomon, okay, who was Saul's son. I'm sorry, David's son. It was Saul, and Saul had a son named David, and then David had a son named Solomon. These are the three kings of Israel. Solomon, God turns his back on Solomon because Solomon married a woman. He had 700 wives, but he married a woman who worshipped Moloch.
Yeah.
The god of Moloch believed in sacrificing children.
Fallen angel, Brian.
Yeah,
good point.
Child sacrifice. So that's why when you read the Old Testament, Solomon was the wisest of all. He asked God for wisdom.
Yes.
He ends up falling out of God's favor because he took on her god, Moloch, as well as his God.
Yes.
And the God of the Israelites said, you are now worshiping Moloch, who believes in child sacrifice, and that was total sacrilege, as it should be. It's very interesting to me because you can get a spiritual dimension on this. If you look at LGBTQ, if you look at
who's talking about Moloch.
if you talk about transgender,
my work here is done.
If you talk about transgender rights for kids and what's it called, transgender care or
child affirming care.
Yeah, all that bullshit. That is a form of child sacrifice. You are advocating for puberty blockers.
I love this.
You're advocating for puberty blockers, which cause bone density issues and a host of other things, can render a child sterile.
Yep.
You then most kids, especially if you look at the St. Louis.
It's almost like the heir has no rights.
The St. Louis Hospital for Children. Almost all of the kids that go on puberty blockers then go right into cross-sex hormones, which render them sterile for life. And then you get top surgery or bottom surgery. So it's a process, but make no mistake, they're funneled into this irreparable, damage to your body before your brain is even.
That's what that bitch is talking about.
It is unbelievable, and it is a form of child sacrifice. And I
Brian,
think everybody at the
I want you
St.
to ring
Louis
the bell.
School Children's Hospital should, if I had it my way, in my opinion, all of them would be in jail or worse. That's me. These people that do this, these surgeons that do this, you're scumbags.
It's one of the best
You're
episodes we've ever done.
Scumbags. And it's a fact. And now the lawsuits are starting to come because these kids
Bring on the lawsuits.
They're going down that thing like in the Tavistock Clinic in England. Now the lawsuits are coming. They're going, hey, you diagnosed me as having gender dysphoria when I had anxiety, I had depression, I had whatever it was.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Are you saying, and I just want to clarify what you're saying, are you saying that the elites worship Moloch?
Well, I'm saying that if you have an antagonistic view of God in your life, if you have an antagonistic view of a higher truth that stands apart from humanity, you better be careful because those people are going to invent their own truths. And those own truths will become ideologies, like the transgender ideology, like LGBTQ, like a sex change, because a sex change and a new name is a form of a rebirth. It's no different than being reborn as a Christian. It's a lot different, but this need to believe, this need for faith in the human mind and spirit is going to find a valve. You want it to have a healthy valve. If the valve is love for all, and it's certain Christian values or certain Islamic values or certain Jewish values, or what the
Brian, do you think
preaches, great.
real quick, all Abrahamic religions have extremists?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Of course I do.
So just to kind of walk through this, the Grand Inquisitor story, right, is about Jesus being too difficult to follow, right?
And you mean in the Brothers Karamazov?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
The Grand Inquisitor story is that Jesus could have put all of our minds at rest when the devil tempted him in the desert. He could have shown the people that he could jump from a fucking high ledge and float to the bottom. He could perform miracles that he himself was indestructible. And then nobody would have had any doubt at all that he was God. And the Grand Inquisitor said, you chose to not do that. You didn't put anybody's mind at rest. And as a result, the entire world is still fighting over who and what God is. And you had a chance to put all of that to rest. It's a very interesting thing. It's one of the most famous chapters in all of literature. Sorry, Sam. I'm talking about reading a book. It's 1,000 pages.
I'm reading a book right now. It's by Sigmund Freud.
What is it? The
It's
interpretation
talking
of
about
dreams?
how his belief is that, and the Freud whole family tree is completely fucked up.
Oh, are you reading about somebody who's saying that Freud was full of shit?
No.
Oh.
Well, I do think a lot of things he was full of shit. His family was riddled
But his
with
contribution is
pedophilia.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, to pedophilia, but that he was discussing that his belief that Moses wasn't Jewish but actually Egyptian, which is very interesting.
Well, so Moses was Jewish. The story is he was Jewish.
Well,
but he was raised
what
by
Freud
an
is saying in
Egyptian
his
woman.
book is that part of the story he doesn't believe in. That he says that even the
said
name
that?
Moses.
Freud said that? No.
Yeah, Freud said that. I'll give you the book when I'm done with it.
Okay, wait. So Freud, hold on. The Old Testament, I don't know how you'd say it. The Old Testament, I'm just telling you whether it's true or not. The
I'm
Old
just
Testament
saying I'm reading a book. That's all. Go on.
Moses was raised by an Egyptian woman,
but
Pharaoh's daughter.
Okay. Anyways, the point of that is, it's just like it's super interesting. So what else we got to talk about? Anything?
Well, I guess we just to close on that, Moloch is an easier god to worship than
Jesus,
than the actual god. So with the
there is one God.
The capitalistic elites are anti-human, so they do worship Moloch.
Yes.
See, I don't agree. I think that
we had them, and then we just lost.
I think that the elites think, and they're
you know what
right
I think
to an
happened there,
extent.
Dylan? They use voice of skull technology where Bryan was like getting free, and then they're like, "You're not a free soul."
No, but the elites are coming up with. So when you want to call them the elites, I mean, people are saying,
or your babysitters.
We can use technology to make the world a better place. Now, hold on. There is an idea that we are coming up with. I just interviewed Peter Diamandis on my podcast. We're coming up
What's
with
the name
ways.
of that podcast?
off limits.
Okay,
we are
bang,
coming up.
Great show.
Thank you. My groundbreaking podcast, Off Limits.
Off Limits.
Interviewed Peter Diamandis.
Bryan,
and in that
the intro,
podcast,
do you do this ever?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes.
That's definitely.
But we are coming up with technologies that are going to push us way beyond our biology. And
Yeah.
you and I may see people that lived 150 years.
I mean, back like they did in the Bible because they've taken all the hydrogen out of the air, so we die quicker.
Well,
basically.
By the way, Sam, we are pushing way beyond our biology.
No, Bryan. In the Bible,
Okay, but
the kings, what were they called?
Sam, there's the Book of Kings. You're talking about the Book of Kings 1 and 2.
No, I'm talking about
the
tablets. What were they called?
Talmudic.
No, don't bring up the Talmud on the show, please.
The Ten Commandments.
No, the old the something tablets of the old kings. What are they called? They lived thousands of years. No, please stop.
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
No, dude.
Okay, Sam.
It's the first written language. What is that?
Sumerian?
Sumerian tablets. The Sumerian kings lived for thousands of years, Bryan. We used to live way longer. You're being lied to. We used to live forever. Like Moses lived for like 900 years. It's like ridiculous.
Okay, there's a
banging bitches left and right. Shut your like when we're having kids in their 120s, dude.
Yeah. But Sam, what I'm
it's in Genesis, bro.
What I'm trying to say
this guy reads the Bible, but he doesn't believe anything in the Bible.
No, what
do you hate? Read it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
We are getting to a point where technology is going to push us way beyond our biology. We'll be able to live forever.
Bryan sounds like Bryan's into transhumanism.
Well, we are getting into transhumanism. The question is, you cannot just pin all your hopes on that.
Okay.
You can't lose the idea that there is a spiritual realm.
I gotta be honest with you, Dylan. These seats give me a fupa, like a real bad fupa. Whenever I watch this thing, I'm like, that is a fat upper pussy area for sure. Every time I watch our videos.
You store a lot of your water and food in your upper pussy area. You're a reverse camel. You're a cuntal. We call you a cuntal.
I really hate how I sit.
Yeah, but in the desert, you would last a long time, and I would bring you. Would
I last 900 years like Moses?
Yeah, you wouldn't need as much water in the jungle as you dehydrated, because I just say, drink from your gunt. Drink from your gunt.
What's the next story?
Just really quickly on this.
Okay. For its final book, here we go. We want to read that. Is unusual. His historic Moses and the monotheism, which offered a revisionist psychoanalytical perspective on Moses and the Jews. It's just interesting because he breaks down the name, a lot of stuff, and just like, it's interesting, and how he brought monotheism to the Jews. It's super interesting.
Okay, so
Bryan got uncomfortable. He could talk about my fat upper pussy area with great pride, but the minute we start talking about Freud and Moses, he gets really quiet.
The God of the Israelites was that was monotheism. The Jews are credited with bringing monotheism to the world. But
through Moses, which followed an Egyptian king.
But in a way, even the Vedanta talks about one main God. There were other expressions of this God in different forms, but even in the Vedanta, there's one main God.
Bryan, how can Sam improve his fatter upper pussy area?
I would have Sam stay away from sugar, alcohol, which he does, sugar and simple carbs to start with.
I'm working on it.
And then I would boost his testosterone.
I'm lifting weights, doing squats.
Yeah, I would have you doing goblet squats, deadlift properly.
That's next month. We start cranking it up.
Yep.
Thank you, Joel Staley, and your fitness program for helping me starting to get some definition. I'm under 200 pounds. I'm going to get down into 180.
I wouldn't work you out for more than a half hour, though.
I work out a lot, Bryan. I do martial arts. I do lift weights. I'm now going to fucking yoga. Zip it.
All right, that's it.
That's the end of the show?
That's it, kids.
I feel like I crushed.
Did it again.
I feel like I crushed this one. Bryan came out as understanding that Moloch is worshipped by these scumbags. Thank you, Bryan.
Yeah, that's huge.
Anything else? Hey, push your product.
Bad TV, everybody follow Bad
Hey,
TV.
real quick, don't hang up. Go to chaostwins.com, join the Chaos Army. If you $1, $5, whatever, just join. Have fun. Help out. We're gonna get some great names in this animation. We're going from just comic book to animation. Let's go.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you, dude. Big win today. When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, a.k.a. Deep Waters.